Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomimle in Accra on digital address GA0993341 on Joy 99.7 FM. It's also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank. UMB, speed up, Digibank, let's go. Coming up, police in Accra foil attempts by customers of Men's Gold to block the N1 highway as they demonstrated today demanding their investments. We'll bring you details. Meanwhile, Chairman of Parliament's Finance Committee disagrees with calls for government intervention to help customers recover their monies.
We told them what they were doing was illegal. At that point, if anyone wanted to take out their funds, they would have been able to do so. They are crying over spilled milk.
Also, over 10,000 identifiable groups participate in the special voting across 47 districts in the proposed new regions.
Logistics for the referendum, including materials and items for all activities relating to the referendum, have been procured and dispatched to the affected regions.
We'll be live in the selected areas as the Electoral Commission gears up for the 27 December referendum on the creation of new regions.
Only the prerogative of the police and the security agencies to guard and protect the citizenry. Chiefs, various factions, don't take any weapon there.
Media Coalition Against Galamsey petitions Attorney General to explain reasons for discontinuing the case against the notorious female Chinese illegal miner Aisha Wang and others.
The Attorney General, in exercising her discretion, it's not absolute, especially when it comes to a case that has so much public interest.
And later in the bulletin, red, yellow and green are colors whose meaning Ghanaians are familiar with when they appear on the national flag. But do you know what they mean at Christmas? We'll tell you more on this and the Super Morning Show's Festival of 9 Lessons and Carols.
Our first lesson is taken from Genesis chapter 3, verse 8 to 15.
All those details coming up. And those are voices of angry Men's Gold customers who attempted to block the N1 highway in Accra as part of their demonstrations demanding their investments. The customers massed up at the headquarters of the company at Jobelu here in Accra to protest non-payment of their monies. The company has for some time now struggled to pay customers their deposits despite protest and legal actions by some of them. It took the intervention of the police to avoid a major traffic build-up on the N1. Listen to some of the customers who gathered there this morning.
Let me catch them. I know the two. Baba 500 million here, about 50,000 Ghana cedi.
Baba Mediana Mima, because me Bahabia means me. And to me, I made a TV so near me and having them who is awesome. And
also over.
And another missing Baba Beho, me, where me bamboo Kumase. And many Baba ready, of course,
made the effort to make sure that at least a principal is paid to her, not even the interest. So far, it's been unsuccessful. Many of them are trying to force their way into the buildings. And of course, the police, the personnel here will try as much as possible to prevent them from making that entry.
We have concluded that government is in bed with Nana Apia and they wanted to dupe us with our hard-earned money. And we will not accept that. We will never accept that because it is even good we die for this money. We die for our monies because it is our blood. Yes. It is our blood and we suffered for it. We cannot let it go scot-free.
It was just July that I did my investments. That is about 756,000 Ghana cedis.
756,000 Ghana cedis.
That is old currency is 7.
That's how much you invested?
Yes, that is my investment with Men's Gold. And now the problem and the whole issue is that, and even if they will close it, they will shut it down. They should have made investigations.
We'll continue to protest and hoping that the authorities will hear you.
Yes, we will do that.
So you had some angry customers of Men's Gold who massed up at the company's headquarters at Jawulu earlier this morning. My colleague Nancy Emefa-Jadosi was there earlier. Nancy joins me in the studio now. Now, we heard some of the customers. Clearly, they are not happy. They've been protesting for several months now. Paint a picture of how chaotic the situation was at the office.
So if you have the chance to see the video, initially all ran into the road, the N1 highway.
Wow.
It was as if they didn't care for their life. They just wanted to go. And so the police, Kwesi Fori, had to alert his men to rush after them and grab them back, from the roadside. Then when they came back, they decided to go and clear the barricades that was in front of the Men's Gold office so that they have access into the building. That's how agitated these people were. In fact, after the interview with Roland Walker in the morning, when I went, people were still gathered there. And they were not ready to move because they said they don't have money to spend Christmas. And so they need to be there.
But in all of this, has the management of Men's Gold made any assurances to the customers about, giving them their money, so their investments?
Well, the last...
however little they may be.
The last assurance was 2 weeks ago when they said if you're able to migrate onto the online platform, you'll pay some 5% fee, and then on last week Thursday, you'll be paid some money. Some of them trusted the company again. They migrated onto the online portal, only for it to be also another no-show. And so they've lost their initial money with Men's Gold itself, and also lost another 5% of their monies to the online platform. And so as of now, we have heard nothing from management. In fact, we have tried reaching them. They're not picking our calls.
I see. Interesting. Now, you indicated earlier that the police had a tough time. They struggled to get the customers off the streets. You've been speaking to the leadership of the Greater Accra Police Director of Operations, Superintendent Kwesi Fori. What has he been telling you?
So he actually painted what exactly was happening and how his men got the tip of what was going to be happening. In fact, he says a series of these things are going to be occurring because that's the hints they've heard. And he actually said that he knew that if he had not instructed his men to go after those people, a lot of lives would have been lost this morning.
He had a hint this morning that some group of people are in here, with the aim of blocking the highway. So quickly we have to deploy personnel here. One, to ensure that we have free flow of traffic on the George Walker Bush Highway. Secondly, to protect the head office of Men's Gold. We are here not to permit them to enter the place illegally, to disrupt activities of the place or to cause damage to their storage facilities as far as documents and other things are concerned. And thirdly, to protect them and to ward them off from the highway. You witness the way and manner they rush onto the highway. The police has to tactically stop the vehicles that were speeding. If not, we would have witnessed a mass suicide on our road. And we are not prepared to supervise this. That is why we are engaging them, appealing to them, talking to them to see that their life is very important. Let them live to live and not to live to die. And that is the mantra given them. And we will ensure that we are here to protect them and the facilities here.
So that was Greater Accra Region Police Director of Operations, Superintendent Kwesi Fori there. In Kumasi, some customers of Men's Gold have served notice they will continue to fight to recover their lost monies. National PRO for the aggrieved Men's Gold customers, Francis Owusu, and some other customers have been speaking to Love News about how the situation is impacting them.
We are petitioning SEC, we are petitioning Peace Council, we are petitioning BOG, we are petitioning all the major stakeholders. And for almost 1 month now, they have not even written officially to us to even acknowledge the receipt of our petition and the steps that they are even taking to help us to receive our investment. We are going to cause unrest. We are going to be in the streets of Accra and Kumasi until we get our investment. We are not going to leave the streets of Accra and Kumasi. We will better die in the streets of Kumasi and Accra than to sit down and die in our various homes and let our investment go down the drain. This is our hard-earned currency.
So I invested all my hard money in this. I invested more than 200,000. All my hard-earned money. Everything is gone in the drain.
So how are you spending the Christmas?
Nothing. Just being in the house, doing nothing. I need my money seriously. I'm very worried. Why the president to be in this country and we suffering? Are we not Ghanaians? Are you not also Ghanaians? Why do you suffer this way, boss?
I have nothing now. Right now, I can't even pay my rent. I can't even pay my utility bills. My whole life has actually run down. There's nothing I have now. So what I am telling them is that wherever our money is, with all due respect, we've been very calm. We've actually tolerated them. We are begging them that they should bring our money. Because he actually said on Saturday that we should migrate and he was going to bring back our money. The time has elapsed.
Well, Chairman of Parliament's Finance Committee, Dr. Mark Isibeyeboah, is encouraging government not to intervene, insisting the customers should blame themselves for what happened.
The government warned those who put their money there. The government warned them. As late as February 2017, Men's Gold came to the Finance Committee, and then we told them what they were doing was illegal. At that point, if anyone wanted to take out their funds, they would have been able to do so.
So those crying now, it's probably their own causing, and they shouldn't be going back to government.
They are crying over spilled milk. Yeah. People are comparing this one to DKM. DKM was regulated by the central bank. So, in a sense, it's like one of the 7 banks that have gone underwater. But Men's Gold was not regulated by SEC, neither was it regulated by the Bank of Ghana.
But ranking member on Parliament's Finance Committee, KCL Attoforsen, disagrees. He wants government to use the power of the state to recover monies from the company for the agitating customers.
I strongly believe that government has a responsibility to intervene. I strongly also believe that government attitude of I don't care is not good enough, because government should intervene into ensuring that at least at the minimum the assets of the owners of Men's Gold are confiscated. Very much so, if possible, sell them and then defray the debt with it. Government cannot assume that the guy can commit a crime like this and go away. It's only the government that has the power of a state to be able to use the police, to be able to use the military, to be able to contact Interpol to ensure that the asset of this crime, the person who committed this crime, is brought to book and then used it. Anything more than that, I have a concern. Government warned people against rape, yet people rape them. At the end of the day, government doesn't say that because you have been raped and I warned you, I'm not going to prosecute the rapist. Government is running away from their responsibility, and that is a shame. I call on His Excellency the President to use the power vested in him by the Constitution of the Republic to ensure that the perpetrators, particularly the owners of Men's Gold who have committed such a crime, be brought to book.
What if it's not enough?
You see, assuming somebody has taken 10 million cedis of yours and you can recover 9 million, it's better to recover the 9 million than to say that I'm not going to act at all. I think government attitude is nothing but a failure. Government has failed in this.
So that's KCL Attoforsen, minority spokesperson on finance and a member of Parliament's Finance Committee there. As we indicated earlier, we've made several calls to Men's Gold, but we are yet to have our calls answered. Moving on, over 10,000 identifiable groups made of security agencies, officers of the Electoral Commission and the media are voting today in a special poll on the proposed creation of 6 new regions. The exercise was started at 7 a.m. this morning in 47 districts in the Bono Ahafo, Western, Northern, Volta regions will end at 5 p.m. The Electoral Commission says enough logistics are available for successful voting. Here is Chairperson of the Commission, John Mensah, who spoke earlier on the referendum.
Logistics for the referendum, including materials and items for all activities relating to the referendum, have been procured and dispatched to the affected regions. These include stationery and various election-related forms. Each polling station will have 2 BVDs. In addition, a provision has been made for backup BVDs at the regional and district offices of the Commission. Special voting is a special dispensation under the law that enables electoral officials, security agencies and the media who, due to their duties on the day of the poll, will not be able and available at the polling stations to exercise their franchise ahead of the actual polling day. The special voting list for the various polling stations has been compiled, and we have 10,127 eligible voters who are expected to vote at the 47 special voting centers in the districts of the carved out areas. The counting of ballots will begin immediately after the close of polls at all the polling stations in the full glare of the public, and the results of the polls at the polling stations will be announced there and then. All certified polling station results will be submitted to the district collation centers. The district returning officers will collate at all the polling station results and submit the district results to the regional returning officer after same has been announced at the district collation center. The regional returning officer of the 6 proposed areas will tally all the results of the districts in a particular carved area and declare the results of the referendum at the regional referendum center. Note that the constitutional threshold requires that at least 50% of eligible voters must cast their vote at the referendum, and of the votes cast, 80% must be in favor of the proposed creation of the new regions.
EC Chair of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah, there. Now we're looking to connect with our reporter on the ground in the OT region, the proposed OT region. When we get him, we'll get an update on what's happening. But let's stay a little longer on the subject, with more focus on the December 27 referendum. And the Minority Leader, Harun Idris, wants the EC to step up public education on the exercise.
As we prepare for the referendum in December, we need to add public education for the requirements for this referendum. Imposes an onerous obligation of not just getting a high voter turnout, but a higher percentage voting in support of what the president desires. But Mr. Speaker, the Electoral Commission have not demonstrated in 2018, even their budget about 211 stand uncommitted, and it will mean that the government and the Minister of Finance will have to provide additional resources to the 740 million which was so approved for the Electoral Commission. We expect them to improve their data center and ensure that they are ready for the District Assembly elections in September and prepare for the 2020 elections.
Well, there's, however, a strong push for a yes vote in the proposed OT enclave. As correspondent Fred Kwame Asare reports, youth groups in the area are campaigning to get inhabitants in the area to come out to vote on Thursday.
The youth took to the streets of Jarsekine in a walk dubbed Yellow Walk for OT region. This was to awaken the spirit of patriotism in the older generation and employ them to participate in the referendum. The walk had participants dressed in yellow t-shirts with inscriptions such as "Vote Yes for OT region, Yes for Development," among others. William Ajay is a youth leader in the Jarsekine district.
We know that the yellow represents the yes for OT region. So we organize, the youth of Bloom and Jarsekine district organize this program to educate our mothers and our fathers and all voters that on 27th of December, when they go to the police station, they should just go and print the yes vote. And on the election day or the referendum day, is to embark on a program they call Get Out to Vote. So they will be knocking on doors, they will be going house to house, knock on each door to drive out our mothers, our fathers, and every voter in Jarsekine district to the police station to go and endorse the big yes for OT region.
The Jarsekine district is one of the 8 districts and municipalities earmarked to make up the proposed OT region, together with Central Kofi, Akpafu, Lekpe, and Lolobi.
Fred Kwame Asare's report there. In a separate development, the Electoral Commission is holding an emergency meeting with representatives of the political parties to deliberate on Thursday's referendum on the proposed creations of the new regions. The meeting is also expected to discuss the upcoming parliamentary by-election in the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency. My colleague Parker Wilson joins us on the line from the EC's headquarters. Parker, what's the latest on the meeting?
Right, so the meeting ended a while ago, and we are told by the Electoral Commission that the by-election for Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency will take place on the 31st of January 2019, because we do know that for special reasons, or when an MP dies, what happens is that the Electoral Commission should be able to organize a by-election within 60 days. So the political parties were raising concerns, and that is why the Electoral Commission today held an emergency IPAC meeting, and we are told that on the 31st of January, that is when they are going to hold or organize the by-election. And for the NPP and NDC, for the NDC, I should say that on the 28th of December, somewhere Friday, they are going to hold their constituency primaries to elect their candidate who will represent the party on the ticket of the NDC for the by-election.
All right, Kwesi Parker Wilson is my colleague there, bringing us an update on that IPAC meeting being held at the EC's offices as we speak. You're listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Stories gone by. Police in Accra foil attempts by customers of Men's Gold to block the N1 highway as they demonstrated earlier today, demanding their investments. Meanwhile, you heard Chairman of Parliament's Finance Committee disagreeing with calls for government to intervene to help customers recover their monies. Also, over 10,000 identifiable groups participate in the special voting across 47 districts in the proposed new regions. Still ahead, Media Coalition Against Galamsey petition Attorney General to explain reasons for discontinuing the case against the notorious female Chinese illegal miner Aisha Wang and others.
The Attorney General, in exercising her discretion, it's not absolute, especially when it comes to a case that has so much public interest.
And red, yellow and green are colors whose meanings Ghanaians are familiar with when they appear on the national flag. But do you know what they mean at Christmas? We'll tell you more on this and the Super Morning Show's Festival of 9 Lessons and Carols.
Our first lesson is taken from Genesis chapter 3, verse 8 to 15.
My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality, but I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go!
On Thursday, 27th of December 2018, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., all registered voters of the Ahafo, Bono East, North East, Savannah, Western North, and the OT areas will go to their various polling stations
to vote yellow for yes or brown for no to decide whether the new regions should be created or not.
All registered voters in the proposed areas, as well as persons who transferred their votes to the areas, are eligible to vote. If the device fails to verify you as the person on the register, you will be taken through a manual verification process once you have your details in the register, and the biometric verification device BVD has successfully scanned your barcode. The voter will then be issued a ballot paper which will require the voter to vote
either yellow for yes or brown for no.
After receiving the ballot paper, the voter must proceed to the voting screen and vote for only one issue.
To vote yellow for yes or brown for no to decide whether the new regions should be created or not.
A voter can talk to the presiding officer if they have any challenges. Remember, the voting process will be at the Hafu, Bono East,
North East,
Savannah, Western North, and the OT areas on Thursday, 27 December 2018 from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Vote early to avoid any disappointment. Your vote is your power.
Ho, ho, ho. It's the time you've been waiting for. The Joy FM KTK Fever. Continuing the tradition of the best disco mixes and dance moves from the 70s and 80s. New venue, same intense experience. Happening on Boxing Day, Wednesday, 26th December from 9 p.m. at the Omanya Hall, Labadi Beach Hotel. Tickets selling at 150 Ghana cedis at the front desk of Joy FM. Reservation hotline 0540-106-466. Come and enjoy the welcome drinks, the dance, munchies, and late-night hot pepper soup. The Joy FM KTK Fever is sponsored by Stanbic Bank. What's your thing? Use Stanbic online banking on the Stanbic app to transfer money instantly, buy airtime and data, pay bills, and do a lot more at your leisure. Do your thing. Stanbic Bank. Moving forward. And proudly brought to you by your superstation Joy 99.7 FM. The Joy FM KTK Fever. Let's boogie.
You're welcome back. This is the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. I'm Arava Kumsin. In the studio with me now is Benedict Owusu. What's happening in the world of sports? I know it's a holiday, but I'm sure there's sporting activities.
Yeah, absolutely. Place. And there's a big boxing bout tonight at the Bukum Boxing Arena. And it's the Kabik Promotions, and they are finishing off their maiden year of boxing with their biggest show yet, with both Patrick Alute and Richard Harrison Lati defending their WBO Africa titles against opponents from DR Congo and Kenya at the Bukum Boxing Arena. Now, Alute will be making a second defense of the WBO Africa Junior Middleweight title. The first he won was in April with Richard Harrison Lati, who captured the WBO Africa heavyweight belt in August, coming up against Maurice Okola of Kenya. CEO and bankroller of Kabik Promotions, Ivan Buskujo, is anticipating a successful night.
Most of the time I say, whenever you're doing something, you do it 1, 2, you do the first one, the second one, definitely you have to improve on what you did the first time. And this is our third time. Believe you me, it wouldn't be how would I even put it? It would be something dramatic. Just come and watch. And believe you me, there will be a lot to live in the minds of people thereafter, that they'll talk about it. That's 24th night. We watched this fight and it was something else. And there's a lot of attractions, such as the musical, people coming on board to perform on that day, and then again a lot of food to eat and drink, just to make more or less like a party. Not just defending, kind of defending and still keeping the title in Ghana.
So that's Ivan Bruce Kujo. He's CEO of Kabik Promotions, and they are putting together the Kabik Big Fat Night, which is happening at the Bukum Boxing Arena. I mean, very, very good place to be to watch boxing, especially on a holiday like this. So I don't know if you would love to join me.
Definitely.
Yeah,
why
awesome.
not?
It'll be great.
Thank you, Benedict. Moving on, the Media Coalition Against Galamsey has petitioned the Minister of Justice and Attorney General over the discontinuation of the prosecution of notorious female Chinese illegal miner Yu Hang, popularly known as Aisha Wang, and 5 others. Last week, the Attorney General announced a discontinuation of the case, and Aisha was deported for irregularities in her passport. But the coalition is demanding explanation from the Attorney General for what they say is a wrong signal in the fight against illegal mining. Kenneth Ashigbe is a convener of the coalition.
You have the situation where the state had called 8 witnesses, and the 9th one was in the dock ready to give his evidence, and who is the investigator in this case. Then Attorney General then issues a nolle prosequi. It's very, very interesting, and if you are not too careful, that will result in, it will just fuel the perception that maybe there are some people who are not touchable. It would also fuel the perception that these foreigners, they can come in and then come and desecrate our lands, and all we would do to them is to say that we have deported them. The Attorney General, in exercising her discretion, it's not absolute, especially when it comes to a case that has so much public interest. We believe that it would serve all of Ghanaians well. It will serve this fight well if she comes and gives us explanation, so that then we can understand this is the reason why, after the case haven't gone all this route, the Attorney General had to do this, so that we all then can say that let's support this fight to ensure that we save our lands, we save our water bodies.
Ken Ashigbe is convener of the Media Coalition Against Galamsey. Now, Ghanaians are very familiar with what the colors red, gold and green signify on the national flag, but these colors also appear to be the universal colors on Christmas decorations. So why is that the case? Joy News' Komla Adom and Mapitso Sebidi have the answers in the following report.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. It's the festive season. I'm in the Christmas spirit, and I'm going to find out what's going on sale. What are people buying to decorate their houses?
Caps, balls, and many other things.
A chair, a career, balls, cap 5 CD, 10 CD, 15 CD.
And then the balls?
Balls, 35, 20, 10 CD, 5 CD.
How's the market?
Market today, new.
It's been generally slow this year. There's no money in the system.
How was 2017?
Last year, I need a fine. I'm a for Chromotato, dear Pa, Muta, dear my. Now this year,
we had one Christmas wish. What would it be?
This one, I'm Walake Wale.
I pray for good health for my family so we can see 2019.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. You know Christmas, three colors, the red, the gold, and the green.
Yeah.
They all have, some significance.
Some meaning.
So,
let's start with the green.
Yeah.
I know it's about rebirth. Yes, and birth.
Yeah. Red, which I'm sure is a very common color many of us know. Red signifies the blood of Christ.
Okay.
And the gold. I mean, the Ghana colors, there's gold in it, right?
Yeah.
This gold signifies light.
Okay.
And so these are the common colors during Christmas, the red, the green, and the gold. And it means a lot of love, a lot of light, and a lot of gift sharing.
And that's how we usher you into the Christmas mood here at Joy 99.7 FM. This was on the Super Morning Show, where listeners and staff read 9 scriptures and sang carols here in our studios. Hannah Odame has more.
Oh, holy night, the stars are bright.
Carols, a religious or popular hymn associated with Christmas, is heard in vehicles, homes, offices, and this time here in the studios of Joy 99.7 FM.
Long lay the world in sin and error pining.
Our first lesson is taken from Genesis chapter 3, verse 8 to 15, and then 17 and 19. God tells sinful Adam that he has lost the life of paradise.
The weary world rejoices.
So, with a reading of the first scripture by Manasseh Azuri Ewuni from the Joy News Desk, the Festival of 9 Lessons and Carols service on your superstation began. Next was Samuel Asari, who is the National Sales Manager of Cadbury Ghana.
Our second lesson is taken from Genesis chapter 22, verses 15 to 18. God promised faithful Abraham that in his seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed.
Then the joyful melodies.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come.
We could go on and on and on and on, but we'll have to bring this bulletin to an end. Before we go, though, what's trending on social media?
Well, Araba, Men's Gold is trending on Facebook, and it looks like the investors don't have the sympathy of people. Nana Aredamwa writes, some of the Men's Gold demonstrators say they invested only 4 months ago, and someone says they were not warned enough 4 months ago. Annie Osabute says, who should warn them? They said they stand with Men's Gold. No. Johnny Bresford Hughes says, dear Nana Esiama Hansen, aka Bulldog, do you still stand by your allegation that some old men and women who have failed in life are frustrating Nana Apia Mensa and his Men's Gold?
And that's what's trending on social media. Thank you very much, Manasseh Azuri Ewuni. And that's how we wrap up the news. Our top story: police in Accra foil attempts by customers of Men's Gold to block the N1 highway as they demonstrated today, demanding their investments. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com.